Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Legislative Lens Spotlighting State Laws podcast. Continuing with the great state of Texas, we're going into another law that was passed during the regular session of the 88th legislative cycle. It was House Bill 3297, better known as removal of the vehicle yearly inspections. They are beginning in 2025. Texas drivers are no longer to be required to have a vehicle yearly inspections or need to have passing annual inspections. And so that will be removed from the state law. Excuse me. So let's talk about it. So in the context of understanding, every year upon the renewal of your registration for your car, which is a yearly thing here in the state of Texas, you would have to go have your car have a car inspected by a state inspection area mechanic. Usually those are mostly just local mechanics, also like oil change places, etc. Same thing would be considered like an emissions test. So let's kind of get into the middle of this. Texas is one of 13 states that that mandates annual inspections at the moment, and that will change in about 18 months when they no longer require annual inspection. Obviously, the main cause and the main reason for the annual inspections is to make sure that the cars that are going across the roadways here in Texas are safe to do so. Many people in the state really would see, we all have seen it before, someone driving without a headlight or things like that, or maybe driving with a flat tire. So you kind of want to have these vehicles that you're driving side by side with to be safe. So this right here is also the removal of this inspection requirement is really removing kind of a cumbersome situation, because some people, it would pass, then it wouldn't pass, then you have to go back. It's just a cumbersome inspection situation. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit on what actually changed in the legislation, because there is some changes. You still have to pay certain fees on a yearly basis. You're still going to have to potentially get your emissions tested too. So not everything has changed, but it's going to affect you. So let's talk about it, shall we? All right. So the legislative situation here, the legislature repeal provisions in state law that mandate annual vehicle inspections. However, the $7.50 fee remains intact under a new name called the Inspection Program Replacement Fee. Really original. The 17 counties that require emissions inspections will still mandate annual tests regardless of the bill becoming law. So there's 17 counties, which if you look at this list of counties, these are the largest counties by demographic and population in the state. Here we go: Brazoria, Collin, Dallas, Denton, Ellis, El Paso, Fort Bend, Galveston, Harris, Johnson, Kaufman, Montgomery, Parker, Rockwall, Tarrant, Travis, and Williamson counties all still require an emissions test. So you're still going to have to pay a $30 emission test. Okay. All drivers outside the exempted counties stand to be affected by the legislation. So everybody else, besides those people that live in 17 counties, which are one of the most largest populated counties in the state, really, it'll be fine. You're just going to get charged your usual, re-registration, your new registration fee plus $7.50. So they'll get their money one way or the other. All right. So the main reason why annual inspections are important back then was a study mandated by the Texas legislature cycle in the House, and I think it's the 84th or 83rd cycle. Showed that cars with defects such as bald tires or bad brakes were 3 years older than the average registered vehicle, which is 9 years old. So almost a quarter of the people surveyed in the study were asked by a mechanic to fix slick or defective tires during the inspection, potentially preventing more accidents. So the main reason why, and this is the key part of this study, was Texas highways are notoriously dangerous. At least one person dies on a Texas highway each day. According to the most recent state data, 4,500 people were killed in auto crashes during 21, and about so it really, really, really important situation here is to get away from having crappy cars driving down the street, which was the reason for the inspections. However, with the removal of that, they're still going to get their money, and it's not like we're not going to be paying for it. So what it comes down to is, and this is what makes us laugh, because this law was co-sponsored by Cody Harris of Palestine and Senator Mays Middleton of Galveston, and Bob Hall of Edgewood also sponsored the bill. So here's what they said. They said these inspections are a waste of time for Texas citizens and a money-making Ponzi scheme used by shady dealerships to upsell consumers with unnecessary repairs. Texans are responsible, fiercely independent, and I trust them to keep their cars and trucks safe while on the roadways. So here's the funny part about the Texas legislature. You have a man by the name of Don Huffines, who actually, Huffines' family owns one of the largest car dealership empires in North Texas, and was actually a supporter of the bill. You would think a guy that owns car dealerships would not be in favor of it. But representatives with Sheriff's Association of Texas, the Dallas County Sheriff's Department, the Houston Police Officers Union, the Texas State Inspection Association, the Toyota Motor North America, also those guys lobbied against the bill. So what they're lobbying for is really, keeping everybody safe, right? So what it really comes down to, it's still going to cost drivers about $7.50 compared to about $25 or $20 that they pay for the state inspection only. I'm not sure if the rates will go up on the emission side. So for drivers with new cars, either the current model or preceding model year that has not been previously registered in Texas, there will still be an initial fee to cover for $16.75. The the Transportation Department estimates that the state's economy will lose $51.4 billion to, just to crashes alone. So let's talk about this, shall we? There was no alternatives, and really what it comes down to is it will go in effect January 1st of 2025. The House vote, by the way, the vote on this was 109-32 in the House chamber and a 20-11 vote in the Senate chamber. So it was pretty much it was borderline states party lines in the Senate, and a little bit. So there's that. So what I really want people to focus on here in this law is that, yes, it removes a large amount of money that you're going to have to pay, but you still need to do some, personal responsibility here and actually upkeep your car and keep your car maintained so you keep the people around you safe. I understand not everyone's a worrying about other people type, but at the same point, when it's time to get new tires, get new tires. If it's time to go do this, it's time to go do that. It's a time. It's a time frame that you need to go take care of things. But that was probably one of the most crucial laws that got passed in the regular session, as well as a lot of bills. Actually, there's probably gonna be about 30 bills that I have to go through and talk about here. So appreciate everyone joining me as always on this episode. And I hope everyone sees this huge law actually impact your life, because it saves you from going all the way to the mechanic shop to get an inspection every year. So hopefully that would impact you greatly. As well as feel free to join us on X at Legislativelens Pod, as well as YouTube. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people's reactions are to these episodes. And I hope that they're informative and they're actually constructive to help you out on your daily life, as well as, there's going to be some polls up there about what topics we might conduct, what states we might talk about next, because it's not just one state we talk about. I know we're doing Texas first, but it's all states. So thank you very much for joining me on the Legislative Lens Spotlighting State Laws podcast. Thank you.